Make a 383-stroker from a stock 350. If you do not normally speak about cars, either you are dizzy by now or sending a resounding say what, if the subject is about a 383-stroker and a stock 350. Don't worry, here is a guide about the process. And yes, we are talking about automobiles, specifically the engine part. So why convert to a 383-stroker in the first place? In layman's terms, a 383-stroker makes use of a crankshaft that is altered to up the piston strokes, thus increasing the strokes. Still confused? Basically, the more piston strokes, the more air and fuels gets into your cylinders, which would increase displacement. Stated simply, more fuel and air is equals to more horsepower and more torque. Now how exactly do you convert a 383-stroker from a stock 350? Here are a few tips as to how. Ask for your local grease monkey. Let's face it. If you have very little experience in this area, it's best to first ask the opinion of someone who is knowledgeable in this expertise. You would not want to end up inflicting damage on your car instead of fixing it, right? Stroked and bored. Don't worry, we're still referring to cars. The stroked refers to, obviously, your would-be 383-stroker, while the bored refers to the cylinder bores. Converting it to layman's terms simply states that along with the stroke increase, your bore should also undergo modification and increase in the diameter of the pistons and cylinder bores. Acquire the necessary parts. More often than not, your local car store offers 383-stroker kits, which contain all the necessary parts to modify your stock 350. Make sure that the parts you acquire are from a reputable brand and that they match all your specs. You can choose to select parts individually if you are sure of which ones you need. When you know where to look, you might just get those extra savings. Again, if you are unsure of which one matches what, asking around helps. Clearance. Since you are increasing your piston strokes, this would mean needing more space for it to perform the operation successfully. Along with this simple modification may require you to modify all the other things around it to make sure everything fit, or it might hit cylinder walls or oil pan rails. Assembling and machining. You should be able to distinguish which piston goes where, the crankshaft and other pieces to be able to put them together correctly. Also, good machine work is crucial here. Be sure it is performed well where the piston rods will rotate or the lower end. You would also need some good machining on your bare block. Opt for a machine shop with a good rep or specializes in these kinds of modifications. When performed correctly, your 383-stroker will provide you with more torque and horsepower. If you are fairly new in this endeavor and are in doubt, we suggest first consulting a mechanic for tips and suggestions, especially when clearing space for your piston strokes, as this might create problems in operation if there is no adequate space.